Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Not Just a Trend by your host, Shiko. And it's the month of love. And I just wanted to just shed some light on some things where, as Christians, we need to be a little bit more mindful about how we love one another. And in First Corinthians 13, I'll read, I guess, till verse 13. Yes. Though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I have become sound brass of clanging cymbal. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. And though I bestow all my goods and food and feed the poor, and though I give my body to the burned, but I but have no love, it profits me nothing. Love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It does not it's not puffed up. Does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, is not provoked, thinks no evil, does not rejoice in iniquity, but rejoices in the truth, bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never fails, but whether there are prophecies, they will fail. Whether there are tongues, they will cease. Whether there is knowledge, there will vanish. It will vanish away. But we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect has come, then what then that which is in part will be done away. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child, but when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, and then I shall know just as I also am known. And I'm a bit faith, hope, love. There's three. Faith, hope, love, these three. But the greatest of this is love. Well, First Corinthians was written by Paul, and it was a letter to the Corinthian church. And he's basically talking about how love is the greatest gift that we give one another. And because of how much the world has certain moments where we might not see love from a lot of wars or a lot of um, families breaking up, or a lot of friendships breaking up. Just there's so much hurt in the world that sometimes it's hard to love, especially when you've grown up in a space where love is not the center of it. And I really love, like personally for me, is when it says, love suffers long and is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not parade itself. It is not puffed up, does not behave rudely, does not seek its own, it's not provoked, thinks no evil. I think for me, mostly is like it does not seek its own. Love is basically something that we shouldn't be seeking our like people we relate with or people we are comfortable with. Like this is loving is like love your enemy. Even Jesus said it, like love your enemy like you love yourself. And it is so hard sometimes. Like if you really don't like somebody, it's like how am I supposed to love this person if you don't like him? But also there's a verse that says you gotta die in your flesh. Like you have to die from like I say die in my flesh, but it's a serious thing where it's like I would rather give you so much kindness because I want to mirror Christ. You know, he wasn't the Pharisees always questioned him. The Pharisees always asked difficult questions where it's like, guys, like he could have been like, wow, you guys really don't believe me? You guys don't see me? You guys don't understand me? You guys don't, I am who I am. I am. And he didn't. He was like, let me teach you. I will teach in parables so that you can use your brain to understand, of what the scripture says. And the amount of times he said, read the scriptures. He quoted scriptures in the past of um, different people who had prophesied his coming. But love is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. And as a whole, it can be hard to do so. I'm not going to lie. There are moments where I'm just like, I don't know about that. But I think not recently, like the moment I started getting more into my word, the moment I started actually spending time with God is when I started learning how to love others. And that was something that I had to pray over. I really prayed. I cried. I confessed. I made sure I was on my knees when I did so because I was like, no, I am not going to allow myself to reach a point where I do not like somebody. It's very strong for me. And it's like, I would rather love you for who you are and appreciate you. But it's also something in my heart that I've had for so long because I'll have people in my life like, why would you be their friend because they're so and so and so. I'm like, well, look, Jesus didn't have friends who were like minded. They all had their own little sin. Any person he encountered had something going on in their life, and we are not meant to judge in the extent that God judges. I would say personally for me, when it comes to judging, I usually say I would rather direct you than judge you because there's a part of free will, right? If I love you enough, I will be like, hey, this is not a judgment, this is more of correction. If you want to take it, fine. If you don't want to take my correction, that's also okay because there's a part of free will. But will I be like what you're doing is right and allow you to do whatever you want? No, not anymore. I used to. I'd be like, you know what, you guys do you. But now I'm like, nah, we're gonna talk about it. Um, but love is just a beautiful thing. But it continues. It does not behave rudely. Does not behave rudely. Meaning like I'm not gonna give you attitude. We're not gonna give each other attitude. We are going to smile. We're going to kill people with kindness. Does not seek his own. I already went into that. And is not provoked. I think the biggest thing if you're like a hot tempered, being provoked is pretty easy. Like if something gets on your nerves or something like that, it's so easy to feel attacked by small little things where certain people can't even come to you because they're like fearful of, or might be like, no, I can't go to Shiko because she doesn't want to listen because she's gonna feel attacked or she's gonna get provoked and we're gonna have a whole argument. And that's not the heart and spirit that I would like to carry out this month, this whole entire year, or ever after this year. But being provoked is something that I really was like that for a long hot minute. Like, you could have said something really small to me, and I'll be like, no, no. I was gonna be like, it's on site. But no, it's not on site. But it's the provoking is something that I hope that if someone comes and mocks me, or if someone comes and constantly is doing the same exact thing, I hope that I'm able to have that moment of like, hey, there's grace. We're gonna chill. We're gonna calm down. We're gonna move on. And love is a beautiful thing. And I hope that as February comes to an end, and as we continue into this podcast, into the year, into whatever everybody's being called to by Christ, and whatever God's calling you to do in the world, that things can just grow. Because when you want to say, I feel like a lot of us say, I love you, but what do you mean by I love you, right? When I tell my friends I love you, it's like I genuinely like, hey, I got your back. Like, that love has like much more than that. It's like, I got you. I appreciate you. Is it the same type of love that I would give my husband or my kids? Probably not. But it's that type of love. It's like the unconditional love, where it's like, even if you mess up, I am still going to give you grace. I'm still going to appreciate you. I'm still going to uh, I'll walk with you in everything that you do. But even with family, I wouldn't, when I say I love you, because it has a lot of weight. So it's not something that I will be like, I love you, but then there's like things on the side that I'm hoping for. I feel like now it's become so genuine. It always has been. It's something that I wouldn't say for now, like, oh my goodness, I would never say that. I love my family to death. Like, it's crazy. I love my family so much. And it's been a journey. It's been to reach a point of selfless love is something that I'm not saying I'm perfect. It's something that I had to pray over for God to give me, which helped with a lot of relationships building. And I'm also human. So I'm not saying that I like forever love this person. I'm forever going to be feeling this way. I'm forever going to be selfless in my love. I'll try my best as a human, right? But in the spirit, I know where I stand. And it's like, it's something that even now I'm still working on too. And every day is a new opening. Every day is a new adventure. Every day is a new way of um, figuring out what is it that I need to work on. And I love my quiet time. And since we're talking about love, I'm going to talk about what I love. I love my quiet time. I get to spend time with God. I get to sit with the Bible. I get to sit with my prayer time. I get to sit in my worship. When I tell you my worship has increased, my worship has gone further, my worship has become better. It's been a journey. I sacrificed a lot. Not, it's not even a sacrifice of time, because it's something that I should be doing every single day. Everything else should be a sacrifice of time with the Lord, where it's like, hey, I'm sacrificing time with you to go and do something else. But being in a space where I am constantly seeking God is something that I have grown to love. It wasn't something that I had before. It wasn't something that I was seeking for before. It's not something I understood before. And this is why I appreciate where I go to church and my pastors, because my pastors have were able to direct in that aspect of how to do so. There's certain past preachings, there's certain um, resources I've gotten that I really, really appreciate, because it's like opened up my eyes with even my community. And it's the love that God has shown me has helped me with the love I portray to people. And I feel like as I get closer with Him, I become more calmer. I become more understanding. I have moments where I will be up here like crying and panicking, but it's also my flesh. It's also I'm human. It's also the human part of us is like we still live on earth. We still have to go through day-to-day stresses. We still have to go through that. But it's how do you come out of that? How do you come out of the struggle? How do you come out of all of that? And it's also loving each moment that you go through, and not being felt provoked. Like you shouldn't feel provoked at all. The next part of verse 5 says, thinks no evil. Love does not think evil. And what I see as that is that, like, if someone says, if I'm like, I love you, I'm not going to think evil thoughts about you. I'm not going to think crazy thoughts about myself. If I love myself, there shouldn't be evil thoughts. And it's hard to do so as someone like me who really has negative thoughts that come because I kind of allow myself to be put in that space. But I've worked on it. I'm still working on it to not put myself in such a negative space and negative thinking. Maybe I'll go into that one time in another episode because it's a long tangent that I'll go into. But thinking evil is something that I'm working on myself, is thinking evil about myself. And when I say evil, I mean like putting myself down, putting myself in a situation where it's like, oh wow, like you should not be thinking that about yourself. Or I've never really thought evil about somebody else, but it's one of those for me personally. It comes back to me. I always say this, don't point a finger because there's always three pointing back. So just be careful when you say, like, oh no, you go through that. No, there's three pointing back. Are you sure that is just that person you're pointing at, or is it also three pointing back at you and being like, oh, you suffer with lust, not just this random person that's you're pointing at, you know? But yeah, thinks no evil. Love does not think evil. And so that's why it's really important to be like, I love. And the most important thing is, like, as soon as you love, like the love of Christ that comes into your heart, it it doesn't look like it's like, ah, yes, this is good. The first few moments that happens is like tearing down because you are literally dying in your flesh. Like there's certain things where God will reveal about you. Like it's like, hey, you got a lust issue. You need to get rid of that. You got money problems. You need to get rid of that. You have family issues. You need to fix that. And it's something that you just be bawling, but you can feel the love of God coming through those situations to get you out of it, you know? And even when it comes to love, when God's love comes into you, that's when you love yourself better, right? That's when, once you love yourself better, is when you can love people even more. And it's something that, you know, it's a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful thing. I have a little challenge for you. I want you to at least reflect on a time that, or somebody, highlight somebody who you want to love more, because I feel like sometimes we want people to treat us a certain way or love us a certain way, but we don't really get to actually express it or talk about it. So I want to just challenge you to find somebody or think about somebody that you could possibly love a little bit more. It's deep when you're like, I love this person as much as you love yourself. The same way you do your self care routines is the same way you're supposed to treat somebody. So a little challenge, but I hope that this month you'll be able to love a little more and just care a little bit more about yourself and others. And I just hope you have an amazing month ahead.